If you're watching this, you're probably wondering what's going on with my Instagram views. You're not the only one. It's perfectly fine. It's just that Instagram went through another algorithm change, and I am here to provide the answers as far as what you need to do in order to optimize based on this algorithm update. Here we go. Starting with number one. The first thing that you really want to hyper focus on is ensuring that your Instagram profile is updated and that Instagram does know, in fact, what your content is about. I'm going to go to the other screen real quick and show you the full screen as far as what you should look out for. So let's go to the desktop so I can show you what to do next.
So now you're looking at my screen over here. You guys could check me out on Instagram, obviously, and shoot me a DM if you got questions. So one of the things that I strongly advise us to do is let's go to our Instagram account, but on the desktop. Let's go to the desktop, okay? Once we're on the desktop, look for your profile. Let's talk about certain setups that you should have or Instagram is looking for. So whatever space that you're in, you want to make sure that the keyword is programmed into your profile. In my case, I'm doing digital marketing. And so for digital marketing and everything in that space, notice how I have some of that keyword over here on my username. And then we have your actual name, right, on this field. And on here, I'm put Edwin Top Digital Marketing because that's what I like to talk about. So make sure that your page is optimized on the keyword for things that people look for. So I'll give you an example. Let's pretend that you're a chef. You want to say, and your name is Henry. You want to say Henry, amazing chef, right? Because that's the key word. If you're in hairdressing or hair salon and your name is, I don't know, Becky or something like that, right? Becky's top hair salon or best hair salon, magnificent hair salon, whatever the case may be, Becky and then her name and then the hair salon. That feeds the algorithm to know who you are. And then lastly, when it comes to this over here, the actual description, you want to figure out a way on how to also invoke that keyword in there. So make sure that you're touching all those points so that Instagram can integrate that into their system. Very, very important. Next up, I want to show you something. And this is happening to my account too, because my account has been upgraded to something that it was before. In other words, I have an account that used to talk about other things, and then I switched it over to focus on digital marketing. And so it's going to take time for Instagram to really know who that audience is. But in order for you to tell if you have the right audience, I'm going to show you this next trick. Check this out. Make sure that on the desktop, you click over here. You see this little person? This right here is not going to show up so much on your phone. That's what I'm saying. You got to come into the desktop to do this, okay? So click on this right here. When you click on this, right, this button over here, this is going to show you people in which Instagram thinks are your competitors. If you start clicking on each and every one of these, and you look at the content as to what their profile is about, and it doesn't correlate with what you're trying to do, guess what? When Instagram is trying to push out your content to non-followers, it's likely to be these types of people. And with mine, look, it has fitness, it has things that are unrelated and probably something that I did in the past. So this is a perfect example of what to look out for, but don't sweat it. It's not a big deal. Just make sure that you're posting content and doing the things that I'm telling you so that Instagram ultimately learns who your competitors are. And then that way they start pushing people of your likings. You follow what I mean? Let me show you an example of an account that is actually working. All right, so here's Wifey. She's showing all of this type of stuff. She's doing the same thing that I'm doing, right? So let's do the same thing over here. If I click on this, you'll notice that the girls that are underneath as competitors are talking about the same thing that she's talking about. If you go inside of the web and you start noticing the types of contents, it's the same thing. That's when you know that we're doing things correctly. So make sure that you're following these points right here. And then now let's go back into the regular tips that I was providing.
All right, next up, let's go and discuss about how long your content should be. I'm gonna break this up into two series. So without further ado, here it is. So there are three different types of lengths as to how much your reels are supposed to be. We're talking about how many seconds in length. Let's talk about the top three. The first one is 5 seconds to 9 seconds. Keep it within that frame. The next one is 17 seconds to 21 seconds. And then the third one, 27 seconds to like about 31 seconds. Those are the three sweet points. So what I'm going to tell you is try to experiment with the three. Obviously that first one, the 5 seconds to 9 seconds, is a nice sweet spot. Now let's go over which ones are the ones that actually go viral. There's 3 sets. You should experiment with these. Here we go. The number one that usually goes the most viral is if your reels is 7 seconds long. The second most popular that goes most viral is about 17 seconds long. And then the third most popular is 27 seconds long. Again, I advise you to go ahead and experiment with these three. Do one for 7 seconds, do another one for 27 seconds, do another one for 17 seconds, and find out which one is the perfect one for you, as results may vary. But based on studies, we've noticed that they differ, but the most popular one is definitely 7 seconds. So the next tip that I'm going to share with you is using a tool that I like to use a lot. Now, you don't have to invest if you're not ready for this type of investment yet. I'm simply telling you what we use for most of our clients, and that's Metricool. Metricool is an amazing tool when it comes to analyzing social media. I'm going to go back into the screen and share with you my screen as far as why this is so important and how you can leverage off of it.
All right, so this is Metricool. And for those who are watching in my other type of platform, I left the link down in the description so that you guys could cop it too, okay? Very important for you guys to jump on this platform. This platform is very good. I'm going to teach you how to use it, a quick crash course, if you may. Let's go ahead and log in. So what this platform does is that it gives you strong insights of how everything is working for your account. What I strongly advise is you guys to check out their paid plans and stuff, because then you get the best insights. But this is very important. Why? Well, because you want to know who your followers are, all of those people that are actually actively looking at your content. What age demographic are they? Are they mostly men or women? If they're mostly women and you're a dude, it's okay. You just need to understand who your audience is so that you could fine tune the content to cater to them. That's the whole point of this whole thing. You're trying to win. If it's the opposite way, same thing, right? And so these types of metrics are super, super important. And it also fine tunes as far as where most of the people that are watching you, where they're from. In my case, let's say over here, we have New York. So all of my New Yorkers was really good, right? Lots of love for those also in California, and so on and so forth, right? So I want to create content that caters to them because it seems like they're my #1 fans. And of course, if you guys are my fans from somewhere else, let it know, because I want to know, right? So that's how it is. But here's the real good juicy part about this, and this is going to help you guys out a lot. There's an area when you focus on Instagram, you go all the way down and you could list competitors. So competitors is very important. You need to study your competitors. You need to study what they're posting, what types of reels they're posting, and what times they're posting. Like, you get to know the secret behind everything. That's what I'm telling you. Yo, this is serious business. All right, so check this out. So shout outs to all of these people who I'm following. I call them, I'm a fan, if anything. Like, I'm looking at them, I'm like, yo, kudos to you. You guys are awesome. So for example, Brock Johnson, he's an amazing guy, right? He has all of these metrics going on here. But if I want to know more stats about him, I'm going to click right here where it says more stats, and I'm going to see how he's growing and all that type of stuff over here, right? Organics. But look, let's talk about the good stuff. Forget the post. The post is just regular post. We don't want to talk about that. We want to know about his reels, right? So if you could see, these are his latest reels, and we could start noticing what is the time period that they start posting. We could see back in July 2nd, which was yesterday, he posted at 6:17 a.m. over here at 5:11 p.m. You can see how many times he's posting a day and what is the sweet spot hours that he's posting per day. You get to see those metrics so that you'd say, well, he's my competitor. I got to do the same thing too. I got to figure out his flow or her flow as far as when they post so that you could do the same thing too, right? That's what this is for. Okay, so you could really get a lot of information here. Let's see if I could go and expand this to 500 to then even further expand all of the reels that he's posting. From here, I could start noticing what are the main descriptions that he posts about. What are the types of contents that he posts about? Which ones work very well for him and which ones don't. Right? And you start taking notes of all this type of stuff. And if you want to get real crazy, like real crazy, you take a screenshot of all this and ask ChatGPT. Listen, well, hold on. I teach that on a course. So you guys make sure that on the description, you get to enroll for my ChatGPT. But yeah, you get to share all these stats to ChatGPT and let ChatGPT do all the thinking for you based on the stats, right? I'll teach you how to do that stuff later on. But the point is that Metricool is giving you the tea on everybody, saying, look, these are the times that this guy posts. You need to start putting yourself, okay, for a whole month, I'm gonna do the same thing and I'm gonna see how my account grows. Okay, so again, I strongly encourage everybody to check them out. How much do they cost? Let's find out, you know. All right, so we have some prices. Okay, how much does this cost? Check it out right here. You could kind of like play along with it a little bit. You want to try the free 99 or whatever, do that. But I'm gonna tell you something, the power is on the paid plan, right? So if you're very serious about stepping up your game and making sure that you get to see all of these competitors and all this and the third, make sure that you get involved, right? And invest, because you're trying to get that return on investment, right? Of course, once you realize that it starts working for you for several times, then save some money and do the whole year thing, but go with what your budget works. No pressure on that. We know that we use it all the time. So anyways, let's go back to the tips on what we were talking about before.
All right, now that you understood all that, here we go on the next tips. The next tips has to do with how people engage with your content. So the way that people engage with your content is crazy important because that also feeds the algorithm. Let's just get straight to it. The number one most important thing is shares. So you have to make content that is going to be shareable to other people. So think about how is it that we could create content that people definitely want to share. Let's say if you're providing a tip, just like how I'm doing right now, I'm providing a tip. If you know somebody that could definitely benefit from this tip, go make sure you press that share button so that they can appreciate what you're doing for them. They're totally gonna love it. It's things like that, something that is shareable. So you might be in the funny niche, you might be in the educational niche, you might be in the recipe niche, right? Let's say, listen, if you like arepas, share this with your wifey so she could cook you some good arepas. Here we go. You know, things like that, something that invokes sharing. That's the type of content you should do. Why? Well, because one share is equivalent to almost 400 views. Can you believe that? It's crazy the amount of points that you get on Instagram when it comes to sharing. So make sure you go ahead and emphasize sharing first. The next thing obviously is the follow. So if someone follows you, you get good points off of that reel that's actually being shown out there. How do you focus on that? Well, you could either encourage them to do this type of action, which is follow, after you provided some type of value. So I'll give you an example. Let's pretend I'm giving these tips. Hey, if you like these types of tips and you always want me to keep you in the know, it's cool. I'll let you know. All you got to do is make sure you follow me so that you never miss a beat. You see that invitation? You have to provide something of value first. Don't just say, yo, follow me. Like, for nothing? Why am I going to follow you for no reason? No. Hey, if you like this type of thing, if you like my recipes, don't miss out because the next one's going to be banging. Make sure you follow. Things like that. You need to encourage people to do these actions when you display them on the reels. So make sure that you go ahead and do that. Okay. So remember I told you the first thing is sharing. The next thing is follow. And then lastly, comment, engage. The way that you ask people to engage is based on a question that you throw either in the middle or you throw towards the end. So everything that I'm mentioning right now, have you tested it out? Did it work for you? How did it go? I want to know down in the comments and I'm gonna respond to you to see what else you could do. You see that engagement that I'm asking you to do? All right, now let's go towards the latest and greatest on these updates. Have you guys noticed that Meta or Instagram, all of a sudden they added this new search that looks like some type of blue donut? You guys know what I'm talking about? A lot of people are using that, especially this new wave of generation when it comes to searching, okay? So we have to start using that. You know how this whole SEO thing works with Google, where it's like, you know, if you have a website, depending on how much authority you have on that website, you're going to come up on page 1, position 1, almost like how credit works, right? If you build your credit, you get good credit and you're the first one on the line. You understand that concept with Google and SEO and all that? Same thing is now happening with Instagram. And this new thing is called social search. Social search. I think I said it right. Social search means that people are looking for answers on the app itself. So they're using the meta search in order to find what they're looking for. So it could be anything. I have prepared several questions that you could use on the search. We call them prompts. Because remember, this search thing is attached to AI. You get what I'm saying? Instagram wants to build this search engine so that you could use it instead of Google. You get what I mean? So once you post a question, who comes up with the answer? You do, right? So again, whether if you're doing arepas or if you're the leader of boxing news, or if you just know how to dribble good basketball, whatever the case may be, if you got the answer because you have a channel like that, you want to come up on those searches, search social or search SEO or Instagram SEO. You follow what I mean? All right. Now I'm going to show you some screens as far as how these searches work and how you can benefit out of those searches so that you understand exactly what type of content you're supposed to be putting out.
All right, so here's an example of a screenshot that I took using the Meta AI. So check this out, right? I actually wrote a prompt. So as I'm sharing the screen, write this down so that you guys can practice this, no matter what niche it is, right? The question at the top that I wrote, what searches are people in digital marketing? So digital marketing is the variable. You get what I'm saying? The variable as in the blank. You could put whatever. You could put cooking, you could put physical fitness, you could put whatever it is that you're involved in. But of course, since I'm involved in digital marketing, I put digital marketing. You could replace that with whatever. What searches are people in digital marketing niche searching for, and what are hook ideas that answer these queries, right? I might have done a misspell there. And you'll notice that Meta AI gave me some search queries based on its information that it's aware of, such as how to improve website ranking, best social media marketing strategies. Let's see what else we have here. We have effective email marketing techniques, SEO tips for beginners, how to increase all of these topics. I am very knowledgeable of this, right? So I can definitely create topics because it's showing me what people are actually looking for. So I could go ahead and share this information. Now, for those guys who are probably doing like MRR and all that other stuff, remember you guys invested in some of these courses where they teach you all of these things. You can't just purchase just to resell. You have to consume the content, understand it, and then go ahead and talk about these tips because people want to learn it. People are searching for it as it's being shown right here. So this is one example. Let's go to another example here real quick. I actually recorded a video. Look at this one. Show me trended content from the past week. Let me just finish typing this out here real quick. In the blank digital marketing space, and you'll see the AI. Show me trending content regarding the niche. And you'll notice that it'll start to write. Again, it's in its first phase, but you could see some of the niches and information that it does share with you. So this is fantastic, right? We could see how the trending topics and blog posts, what people are talking about. So if you're thinking about coming up with some content, it's actually telling you. So you just pretty much just look it up and see what you could find. All right, so here's another video. Show me accounts and sounds that are trending related to digital marketing, and notice the trending sounds that it came up with as well as the accounts. So these are very powerful prompts that you could go ahead and kind of like fine tune to see which one works best for you. You're trying to grab information from this, and this is how people will search. That's why they introduced it, and they're going to get their answers. You want to make sure that you're at the top. So let's finalize with the last tips.
Now that you understand the content that you're supposed to be putting out, start making content that connects with those searches. So if someone else is searching about something that you talk about, you want to come out on those searches because that's how they're searching, right? So they're giving you the cheat code. Start building content so that you could get the cheat code. You're one of the first ones in, top of the line, that's how it goes. The reason why this whole system is slowing down your content is because the algorithm changed to a point where they're favoring more of those searches. In order for your content to fall into those indexes of those searches, Instagram had to do something. They said, well, your content typically doesn't last too long once you post it. In other words, that once you post your content, they show it to a lot of people and then it kind of like fades out, it dies out. People are not like actively looking at it again. Instagram's like, all right, if we want to really stretch out and boost this search, we're going to have to take the content and spread it out a little longer. In other words, that people are not going to get the instant views right away. It's going to be stretched out a little bit more long term because we want to emphasize searching. That's why the search is so important. Okay, so instead of your reel lasting in the system of how Instagram pushes out your reel to people for only like, let's say 48 hours, they want to extend it out for like a good 4 days or maybe even up to a week. They want to make it stretch out. You get what I'm saying? And so in order to do that, that's why you're not seeing the instant gratification of all of the views instantly. You're stretching it out. And the way that you catch that wave is by making content related to the search. That's when they go ahead, they look up something, boom, you're the first one in there, even though you made that video weeks ago. That's how you benefit. And you'll notice that in the engagement, people will start saying, oh, this is cool, this is good stuff. And that post was old. There you go. You have to adapt. Instagram is trying to make changes in order to improve its system. They want you to follow their lead, your content, your strategy, adapt so that it mixes well with their platform. I hope that all of this information was very well explained. Do you like the way I teach? I want to know. I want to know if I talk too much. My wife told me I talk too much. Let me know in the comments if I talk too much. But if you find that this is very valuable, make sure that you share this as well. Like I taught you before, I'm practicing what I teach. Go ahead and share this other stuff. Anywho's, if you really like the way I teach, you're really going to like this other video that I really talked about the methods of how to build your business. I hope you enjoy. See you next time.